ancestors can build a community from nothing. We have something at least. We have the semblance of a foundation. And what we can do with that semblance of a foundation is take that information and galvanize the community. You have the two type of people you need. You need community. You need two type of people in your community. You need immobilizers. Immobilizers are the people who can rally the troops, and then you need organizers. Those people are the people who can say, okay, now that we're standing on State and Madison, what we need to do is go this way, go this way, go this way, go up, down, left, and right. Those are two type of people you need on every block in the city of your choice, wherever you live. That's what you need on every one of those blocks. Or an immobilizer, someone who knows everybody, someone who can get everybody behind them, and an organizer. Somebody who can say, okay, now that I got you together for Joe from Houston, I need you to listen to him, and the person, Moni, is going to tell us what to do. That's what we have to do. And if you're not willing to do that, again, you're part of the problem. You know, we know the complaints. Oh, we don't have enough of this. We don't have enough of that. They're not going to let us do anything. The reason I even played the brother Kwame Ture is because it's time to stop saying what somebody's not going to let you do. Enough with that talk. That is the dumbest talk you could possibly have. Hey man, they're not going to let us do anything. That's why you have to rise up and take it. You do. And there are legal ways to do it, and there are illegal ways to do it. There are talking points that you can have, or you can just sit around with your friends and complain that this isn't going to happen. Oh, I'm tired of people talking about that. Well, if you're tired, you don't need to do it for you. Most of us, I look at the demographic outlook of my show. Most of the people who listen to my show are around my age. They're within 10 years older and 10 years younger. That means you have either kids who are about to have grandkids, or you actually have grandchildren. So, if that's the case, why don't you do it for your grandchildren? If you know, I don't know one person from our community that does not make this statement. Back in the day, it used to be better. Well, back in the day wasn't that long ago, because hell, you only been voting for 52 years. So, if you can do it as long, if we can just take the hands of time back 10 years, we'll be in the mix. But in order to do this, we have to organize, we have to galvanize, and we have to come up with a way to move forward. Look, I am reaching out to a bunch of representatives right now, people, elected officials, I should say, right now. And what I'm going to do is see if I can have them on our show. Because I looked into the statistics, and the population of brothers in our community are starting to shift over to the Donald Trump side, which is asinine if you ask me. But look, I understand it, because people keep feeding us these talking points. They haven't done anything for us for years. But you haven't asked either. You can only get what you ask for. And if you're not asking for anything, don't expect to get anything. Everybody, in what I'm about to say, I guarantee you that every single solitary person that will hear this next statement has heard it. If they've heard it one time, they've heard it 10,000 times. A closed mouth does not get fed. And what we have been doing is complaining to Joe, and complaining to Lisa, and complaining to Rough Buck, and not saying, Lisa, Rough Buck, let's huddle. Lisa, Rough Buck, Joe, let's huddle. And then come up with a plan, and then say, if you don't do this, we will get rid of you. Because guess what? The human ego will force a person to help you when you have organization and you have a plan. When you just saying, you know what's wrong, I don't have to do anything for them. I don't have to do anything. It's just like if you have a significant other who just cool with sitting around the house and not doing anything, and you're the breadwinner, I'm going to come home, sit on the couch. Because he or she has made zero demands, and since he or she has made zero demands, I don't have to do anything but come in the house and sit on the couch, and I'm cool, and I'll be okay. Here's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Your president, Donald J. Trump, has currently reestablished his board of governors, and what will happen once he puts these board of governors in play, they will pick a new postmaster general. The United States Post Office is under siege by Donald J. Trump. If we allow him to do that, do you know? Look, the reason I picked the post office is this. Do you understand that one of the few places that our brothers and sisters were able to work back in the day was get a job at the post office? You remember, if you watched the movie Hollywood Shuffle, what did the lady say? It's always work at the post office. Now, if you have people pulling themselves out of abject poverty with the post office, and Donald J. Trump and his cronies, who are part of the Continental Congress that was set in place by, the Board of Governors that was set in place by Richard Nixon in 1971. If he gets these dudes together and they appoint a new Postmaster General, that Postmaster General is going to do what? That's what that Postmaster General is going to do. He's going to put in place whatever Donald J. Trump says put in place. And whatever Donald J. Trump says put in place, it is going to be to the detriment of the people who are listening to this program, and people like my buddy Chill and my buddy Drake. See, they want to take control of that because that is one of the only entities that is controlled by the United States federal government that is profit. And when you start putting working class people into lower paying jobs, lower opportunities, guess what? We are locked and boxed into abject poverty with almost no way out. People from the post office are able to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, buy a home, refinance their home, put their children through trade school and things of that nature. If you get a new Postmaster General and he's rolling with this white supremacist, I'm gonna say it. Hey, if there's somebody listening, they know I don't like his ass already, so I'm not gonna be scared to say it. These are the things that were set in place in 1971. Look, it works like this. It's a 9-member board. It's selected by the president. The 10th is the Postmaster General. The 11th is the Deputy Postmaster General. Guess if these are 10 people who are thinking like your current president, people like my buddy Andre, who just came into the chat room, thanks Trey for the support, their asses are out like a let-out couch. This is why you need to engage. This is why you need to talk to your committee, the city council, your aldermen, your state reps, your U.S. senators, and get things in place so people like this ass cannot be in play. Now, is Joe Biden even better? Hell no, Joe Biden isn't better. But Joe Biden is less dangerous. You go to his website, see some of the things that he's talking about, grab you and your people to look at some of his things, and when you see some of the things that he's talking about, we hold his feet to the fire. When you got a white supremacist in the office, it's like, hey, whatever, Negroes. So this is why I have changed and pivoted in the direction of voting versus not voting. Then, if this doesn't work after 10 years of doing this, then and only then can we change our way of thinking. But guess what? At that point, 10 years from now, we should have galvanized throughout the country and put ourselves in a better situation so we can succeed. See, it's not just about doing it today. Voting is the first thing you do. The second thing to do, well, actually, before the election day comes, we need to galvanize. The second thing we need to do is come up with a plan. And then once we vote, we tell the person we voted for all those positions that I told you about. We tell those people, this is what we want. And y'all got 4 years to do it. You come up with a list of about 20, 25 things, right? You really only want 5 to 8. But he don't know that because he sees a paper with 25 things on it. And if they cover up about 8, 10 of those things, you go, okay, that's the first year. Next year, we going to add 10 to 15 to that 10 to 15 to that 12, and we're going to keep moving the damn needle. That's how we get what we want. See, everybody who's against voting and things of that nature, they love to talk this nonsense about, hey, Barack Obama didn't do nothing for us. He did something for the gays came with a plan. He did something for the Latinos came with a plan. The brothers and the sisters ain't got no damn plan. We don't get no damn help. I'm just going to keep it funky with y'all, man. We do not have a plan, therefore we don't get help, and then we complain to each other. Every complaint in the history of the world only works if you complain vertically. You complain to your brothers and sisters about, man, we always have to eat this on Tuesday. But it don't make a difference if you tell Cedric and you tell Lisa. You got to tell your mama, Mom, can we eat turkey on Tuesday? Oh yeah, I thought y'all liked that. And then things change. But we have been sitting around for the last 150 years, for the last 50 years, because the other years we were struggling with Jim Crow segregation, red line, and things of that nature, and then we can move forward. You know what I mean? So, for the last 50 years, we've been complaining and attempting to integrate. I am not a separatist totally, but I do believe in the concept of if me and Courtney's house is not in place, according to somebody from the chat room, for people listening in the background, if our house is not in place, we cannot begin to help the next door's neighbor. We cannot. I'm sorry, it won't work. It will not work. So until we galvanize our community, start creating a foundation for our community, then and only then can we start to integrate. But we've seen what integration has done for us. That's what I told y'all 2 weeks ago. It's the reason nobody ever talks about the history of our communities in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. And my idea, my thought process is the reason nobody talks about our communities in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. Yeah, we had red line, Jim Crow segregation, people getting lynched at an alarming rate. But you know what else we had? We had community. We had our own banks. We had our own newspapers. We had our own grocery stores. We had our own theaters. We had our own taverns. We had everything that we needed. So it is amazing that conveniently America leaves that page out of the history books every year. You go from the reconstruction of the country, the late 1800s to the early 1800s, World War I, World War II, and then rest of the 60s. It's a reason that's left out, because when you see that your brothers and sisters throughout the times, your ancestors throughout the time, when everybody and their mother and their sisters, everyone, their brothers and their sisters are when our brothers and sisters doing their own thing, then you'll give them hope. And the last thing you want to give to oppressed people is hope. Hope is the devil in regards to oppressed people. To the oppressor, the hope is something that you don't need to be giving anybody who you got your foot on their neck. I'm sorry, that's the way it goes. I'm sorry. If you give somebody hope, they'll rise up and kill. So you must keep your foot on their necks, and that's why they don't talk about, in my opinion, that's why they don't talk about the 50s and 60s. Now, with that being said, we have to continue to galvanize and get things in play. We have to. We most definitely have to. Because the people who are opposing us, they're exercising their rights and they're galvanizing everything. You don't believe me? Most of the people who are listening right now live are from Chicago. All we have to do is look to our right, and up to the right, and you'll see the state of Michigan, where their state capital. Everybody's talking about that we're in the midst of a pandemic. Everybody's talking about you need to be social distance. Everybody's talking about this, that, and the third. But guess what happened? A legion of white people committed a terrorist act on the state capital of Michigan yesterday. Don't nobody want to talk about it in the news, but look, you have the freedom of assembly. The Constitution says that, but the Constitution also says you have to get a permit to protest. And how could you possibly be getting a permit to protest in the midst of a pandemic in which your rights to assemble have been suspended because of a health situation? So if your brothers and your sisters galvanize and bring armed weapons to the state capitol, that is an act of terrorism. You have stormed the castle, so to speak. So if you storm the castle, that's an act of terrorism. And guess what? If those people would have looked like most of the people who are going to listen to this program, they'd have been shot down and gassed and dogged and hosed down. So when everybody around you is galvanizing and doing what they think they should do, and we're standing around complaining, guess what's going to happen? We will be subject to the nonsense and the foolishness that is going down. That's why Our young people are being shot. That's why our young people are being attacked. Like the young man who had somebody buy him a cigar so he could smoke a little marijuana. And the police officer, about 6'2", 6'3", about 230 pounds, is